Good morning everyone, thanks so much for joining with me for devotions. It's my prayer for you in this day that as the day goes on, you will fix your eyes on Jesus, who is the author and the finisher of your faith. Well, I wonder if you've ever noticed that feelings of gratitude can leave just as quickly as they have arrived. For instance, we can have a kitchen that is full of food and yet complain about having to cook that food. Or we can have closets that are filled with clothing and yet complain about having nothing to wear. We can be as fit as a fiddle for most of the time, but the minute we get a cold or the flu, we can find ourselves complaining about the fact that it interferes with our daily plans. Well, gratitude, unlike other emotions, seems to take a conscious effort to cultivate. Gratitude seems to be a responsive attitude rather than a reactive one. In other words, it seems that we are able to choose the attitude of gratitude. Paul was in jail when he wrote the book of Philippians. Not only did he remain grateful while he was in jail, but he also took the time to encourage others to be grateful too. Because of this and because of his relationship with Jesus, he was able to focus on the good things in his circumstance, even though they appeared really bad. Philippians chapter 1, verses 13 and 14 says this: "For everyone here, including the whole palace guard, knows that I am in chains because of Christ. And because of my imprisonment, most of the believers here have gained confidence and boldly speak God's message without fear." Paul is showing us something really important here, and that is being grateful goes beyond being inconvenienced. Paul was mightily inconvenienced in jail, and I'm sure he didn't want to be there. I'm sure he didn't even plan to be there. But he was there, and he could see God at work despite his inconvenience, despite the disappointment of being somewhere he did not want to be. Paul's grateful because he sees that despite his wrongful imprisonment, because of his presence there in that jail, believers were becoming confident. They were becoming bold, and they were speaking out God's message without fear. And no matter what it is that we are facing in life, just being a recipient of God's grace and salvation is the basis from which all believers can aim and determine to be grateful through all the happenings of our lives. You might be thinking, well, Jeanette, that's easier said than done. It's not easy to remain grateful through all the happenings of life. But no one said it was going to be easy. Remember, I said before, gratitude isn't like other emotions. It seems to take a conscious effort to cultivate gratitude. It seems to be a responsive attitude rather than a reactive one. And yes, there can be very real obstacles to allowing gratitude to flow through our lives despite our circumstances. Things like the desire to be in control of our environments, the desire to be in control of the outcome of certain events, or having an attitude of self-focus where we can't just get past what we want or get past what we think. It can also be anxiety in operation, the fear of missing out on something that you believe is really super important to you. Well, if you are facing obstacles in your life and you're struggling to find gratitude, I want to encourage you today to take it to the Lord in prayer. Ask Him to help you see beyond your circumstances to the thing that He is doing in your life and to the thing that He is doing through your circumstance. If it helps, I know that people have found this helpful that I know in the past, where they have kept a gratitude journal and they've recorded all the reasons for which gratitude has sprung up in their hearts during the course of the day. Before long, before you know it, and this has been the experience of people who I've known have kept these journals, they say before long they have trained their minds into looking for things to be grateful for. The first book of Thessalonians, chapter 5, verses 16 to 18 says this: "Always be joyful. Never stop praying. Be thankful in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you who belong to Christ Jesus." Did you notice Paul says here to be thankful in all circumstances? He didn't say be thankful for all circumstances. He just said be thankful in all circumstances. This is God's will for us, because through cultivating an attitude of gratitude, we will find joy increasing in our daily living. And through our circumstances, no matter how tough things happen to be. As Nehemiah 8 verse 10 says, "The joy of the Lord is our strength." Friends, as you go about this day, I pray that you will do just that. You will look to Jesus, the author and the finisher of your faith, that you will trust him in the changing circumstances and seasons of life, and that you know that he is working his good purpose in and through you. And in knowing that, see what you can be grateful for and give him the glory. God bless you, and God be with you in this day.